I was talking with a friend of mine who went through a very, very terrible relationship. I mean, this woman used him up, used his money, told him all sorts of things about how much she loved him, how much he meant to her, and she even did things like tell him after having sex that she has, genital herpes, all sorts of really, really horrible things to him. And then after about a month of dating, just up and left, totally disappeared, gone. Not even one word of a goodbye or anything. And all this guy keeps talking about, this guy who was used up and thrown aside by this woman, he keeps coming back at himself about what he could have done better. He could have been more wealthy. He could have been more macho. He could have been more of the alpha presence. He could have been more commanding. He could have been more, have more of a plan in life. He could have been more professional with, about his job, being more ambitious, that kind of stuff. And you hear this kind of stuff on the internet all the time about what dating is all about, how to earn a woman, how to keep her attention, how to get into relationships, all this kind of stuff. It's all about being rich. It's all about having the right kind of job. It's all about being macho or being having a certain kind of persona. It's all about these external qualities that really have nothing to do with who this person actually is. And I asked him, would you have been happy with this person had you had millions of dollars in the bank account and a prestigious job and you were super fit? And in effect, he said that she then would have respected him. She then would have treated him well. She wouldn't have lied to him. And I find this very interesting because I'm reminded of an experience I had and something I've learned about, which is the dynamic of an abusive relationship, which is an abusive relationship, really, regardless of who it is, what age group, what sex, it doesn't matter. It's you have one person basically in control of someone else's self-worth. One person is put in a position where they have to prove to the abuser that they are good enough, that they're deserving of respect, deserving of attention, deserving of whatever it is that the abuser wants to control. And it kind of made me realize we're almost in sort of like a culture-wide abusive relationship mindset with each other, men and women, because women will fall into this as well. But with all this talk about relationships, about, you've got to earn enough, you've got to be, direct enough, you've got to take action all the time, you've got to be the one to buy dinner, you've got to be the one to do X, Y, and Z all the time, and you're a pussy if you don't. It really strikes me, really reminds me of that abusive dynamic of it's always on you to prove your worth to the other person, always. And if she doesn't approve of you, if she doesn't like you, if she doesn't, if she thinks that you're not good enough, that you're a pussy, that you're not deserving of respect, then it's on you. You just didn't earn enough. You just didn't pay for enough dinners. I think something that's most surprising to me about basically all relationship advice out there that I've seen, that no one is really talking about the most important aspect of a relationship, which is the question of, do you actually like who this person is? Do you have fun spending time with this person? Are you interested in this person? I actually asked my friend who was still pining over this horrible woman. I asked him, do you actually miss spending time with this person? And he said, no. She was horrible. She was awful. But I think a lot of what we pine for, what we yearn for, it's not an individual, actual woman, a person we care about, but a sense that we are worth something. But we've externalized it into a woman's approval of us. And we think the way to gain this approval This way to gain a sense of self-worth through a woman is by having status and money, which, sure, you will attract a certain kind of woman with those things, but you will not ever be satisfied. I mean, we all know the stereotype of a very wealthy guy who is not happy. He's worked super hard in his life, he's earned tons of money, he's got a great job, but he's empty on the inside because he's never actually worked on himself. He's never built himself up. He has no way of feeling worth something, independent of anything external. And the thing is no matter what external things that you have, no matter how beautiful the wife, no matter the amount of money or prestigious the job, it will never give you the feeling that you are worth something. Because your self-worth has nothing to do with an external proof of anything. You can never prove self-worth, because self-worth is all about your acceptance of yourself, about you being able to look at the fact that you have a life in the most abstract sense, not a particular life, but that you are alive and that you are worthy of being alive. That's really what self-worth at its root is about. That you have a life, you have the ability to go out and make loads of money and do whatever it is that you want to do with that life. You have that ability, and being able to say, I'm deserving of it. If you can look yourself in the mirror and genuinely tell yourself, I have the right to be alive, not as, you're trying to prove it to the universe, like, I've got the right to be alive, in a defensive way, but just genuinely as a absolute fact. I have the right to be alive and to genuinely feel it. That's what self-worth feels like. That's where it comes from, is that genuine belief in yourself. Not from anything external, like money or women or a big house, any of that stuff. All that stuff is very nice, but it will never make you feel deserving or worth anything independent of your actual self-worth.